Okay, today we're going to go over some of the basics of filleting. Filleting is one of the fundamental principles of modeling for product design, as every product that's ever created normally or should have filleted edges. I want you to rub your fingers over every edge that's in front of you. Along the table, along your computer monitor, along the back of your chair. Every edge is filleted in some way, okay? And it's one of the fundamental, it's either filleted or if it's not filleted, it's chamfered, okay? And that's how that's handled. So I want you to start out by creating a simple, solid cubic block here, and I'm going to maximize this. Now, the first law of filleting edges is that in order for edges to be filleted, the object has to be closed. It has to be a closed object in order to fillet the edges. You cannot fillet two open surfaces. Surfaces have to be closed. Okay. The command you type in is fillet edge. Okay. You can use the next radius tag to pass it a value, an initial value. Okay. In this case, we'll change it to 1 for right now. And normally you want to show radius, yes. Next radius, chain edges. Then you select the edges that you want to fillet. And for right now, let's select all of the edges like so. And you notice that with the value of 1, those handles look fairly large, which tells us that the object is small. So now we can right-click on our object. And what you want to do is to make sure that link handles is set to no, that your rail type is set to rolling ball, and that select edges is turned on, preview is turned to yes, and trim and join is turned to yes. Now, looking at this is pretty tight. Now, like if I wanted to change all the values, I could say set all, and I could change that value to 0.5. Okay, and that's a little better. Okay, and once that value is changed like so, I'm going to right-click to run that, and I want you to see what happens when you run a fillet. When you run a fillet, basically it takes that edge and it takes the radius that you've provided and it creates a circle that is that radius and it runs it along that edge. Where 3 or more edges intersect, or 2 or more edges intersect, it puts a patch surface in between them. That's what this surface is. This is a patch surface, and this is sort of like a rail surface. Okay? Now, if for some reason, and it's good to have preview turned on, because if for some reason your object isn't clean like this, you can always make adjustments during the command line. Now let's push this to failure. I'm going to right click to execute the command again, and I'm going to select all my edges. I'm going to set the value to 2 this time. And I'm going to do a set all. I'm going to change it to 2. Now you notice I get that. When you get that, that means that your values are off in some way, that your values are off in some way. And so I'm going to use my set all command, and I'm going to change that back to 0.5. And you notice that now when I change it to 0.5, I get a preview of a clean object. Okay, you get a preview of a clean object. And it's good to see it in reference to the original rectangle, because you can clearly see how it's drawn out that radius, swept that along each one of the edges, and then trimmed it and created that patch surface in between. Okay? Now, and that's your result. Now, let me go back. Second law of filleting, it's really important, is that you always do your vertical edges first. When you're going to do multiple fillets or variable fillets, you always do your vertical edges first. So in this case, I'm going to execute the command. I'm going to select the edges to fillet, and I'm going to select all of my vertical edges. Okay, now that these are vertical edges, and which brings us to the third law of filleting, when you have two edges, two adjacent edges that you're going to fillet, okay, the sum of the two edges can't be greater than the distance between them. Okay, so right now I'm going to change the value to, I'm going to change the next radius, change the value to 1. Okay, I'm going to hit set all, change that value to 1. And you see that even at 1, it's not quite, it doesn't go, the fillets don't collide. Okay, let's push it to the point of failure. I'm going to set all, I'm going to change those values to 2. And you notice that there, they actually collide. Do you see that? And you don't want to do that. So you always want to make sure that the values of the two doesn't exceed the distance between the distance of the edge. Okay? And so now, the reason why you always do the vertical edges first is that now I've created these vertical edges, right? So now if I want to come back now and fillet the horizontal edges, I can select these edges, and let's say I give these a value of 0.6. And I'm going to set all to 0.6. And you notice that that's too far. Now 0.4 is better. Okay, and the reason why I can't go past 0.6 is because it brings up another law of filleting, is that whenever you have a vertical edge, remember we did this at 0.1, at 0.6, that was greater than half of what that vertical edge. So whenever you have a fillet, one fillet coming into another filleted edge, that filleted edge can never be more than half what that edge is. Let me show you again. So this is 1, right? And so we're going to fillet these edges. Let's make this 0.5. We're going to set all to 0.5. And you notice that we can get away with that, right? So let's set all to 0.55. Let's just get away with that, actually. Let's set all to 0.6. And actually, that actually works. Why did it fail the last time? Let's set all to 0.8. And that actually worked. So it can't be greater than the value itself, I guess. So I'm going to set all to 1. And there we go. That's the problem. So it can't be greater than that value. Stand corrected. Let's see. I want to really test it. I want to set all to 0.99. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. And so you can see how through filleting you can really transform a basic, a really simple primitive. Okay. So up until now we've been applying 1 and 2 values to our fillets. 1 and 2 values to our fillets. We can also customize our fillets to give our shape a unique shape. And one of the reasons why I'm starting out with a simple rectilinear primitive is that I want you to see the potential of filleting. So let's go again. Let's select this object and let's go get our fillet edge command. I'm going to select all of the edges to fillet, and I'm going to press enter. Right? And I'm going to set all to 0.2. And I did this so that I could see my edges, okay? And as I look here, I've got 1, 2, 3 in each corner, okay? One of the things that you can do, one of your options, is to copy a handle. So I can take this, I can go to copy handle, and I can click on a handle, and then I can drag it here, right? Right click to bring that handle there. I'm going to double click there, and I'm going to change that value to 0.5. And you notice how it increases that size. I'm going to copy that handle, put it over there, change its value to 1. Okay, and you can also interactively adjust your handle size. Okay, and I'm going to copy a handle, bring it up over here, and I can adjust that like so. And I'm going to copy a handle. Bring it there like that. Click on that and make the value 0.1. And I'm going to copy that handle over here. I'm going to copy that handle, put it in the middle here, and I'm going to raise that value. And you can begin to see some of the interesting shapes that you can create by manipulating your fillet handles. I'm going to add some down here. I'm going to copy a handle from here, move it over here. Like that. And I'm going to copy this handle right here. Move it down here, move it over here, move it over there. You see that. And then I hit enter, and you can see how dynamically you can change a very basic shape just by manipulating your fillet handles. The fillet tool is a very, very powerful tool for transforming your basic geometry, and you can come up with a lot of really nice root shapes for your product design through the very basic manipulation of fillet handles. In the next portion of the lecture, we're going to go over how to manipulate and model a complex block by manipulating your fillets.